So now let's move on to the next session, high school student session. So the presentation, the program is scheduled as high school students presentation. And this program aims to interact with between high school students in a local Iizuka city here and the international and domestic Asia Pacific Next Generation Fellows. So this program, so the objective of this program is like the encouraging the younger learners in Japan to speak, express their idea in front of the next generation leaders in this camp, during the camps. So this is a really rare opportunity for us to have the local high school student, and I'm very, very glad to have this session during APNG Camp. I think this is the first attempt for APNG Camp, so this is a really memorable. 2 seconds? Oh, really? Oh, my bad. Sorry, this is the second time attempt. Okay, so today we have 3 high school and 16 will make a presentation. And 16 will make a 10 minutes presentation. And based on the discussion, based on the presentation, we will conduct interaction and discussion among today's participants. So the high school students, all of them set the topic theme. So based on the fostering trust, AI, blockchain, of Web3. So they set their theme under this topic, so a camp theme. So they, based on their interest and issues they feel, so in the daily life. So they have different perspectives. So we would like to learn from their presentation. So, and then they already prepared well and practiced for today's presentation. So we hope we have a good, better understanding and good interaction through their presentation. So we have a small request. All of us, as Dr. Lee and Dr. Yang already mentioned, so English is Linda Franca. So, and then we are also speaking English as a second language. In daily life, we don't speak English. In Japan, not so often. So that's why we are also using our English. So during the discussion time, please ask your question clearly and slowly for the students to comprehend your question. So, okay. So we would like to welcome our first group, Kindai High School student. The team name is Dream Seekers. Dream Seekers, please get ready for the presentation. Come on, young learners.
Hello. We are going to talk about potential of AI. First, we will explain AI and generative AI. AI stores and learns from input knowledge data, and then identifies and predicts appropriate information. For example, in weather, AI is used to predict future weather based on past weather data. On the other hand, generative AI learns by itself through deep learning, in addition to existing learning data. In addition, it generates new content by inputting the characteristics and relationships of the data it discovered in the process. In other words, unlike AI that act within a predetermined range, generative AI can create new content based on its own learning in addition to existing learning data. There are four main types of generative AI. The first is text generation. When you enter questions or instructions in text, generative AI automatically creates natural sentences and content based on the content. Advanced natural language processing technology allows from zoomed conversations. The second is image generation. When instructions are entered in text, generative AI creates original images that closely resemble the image. Anyone can create images quickly and easily. The third is video generation. When an image or text is input, generative AI creates a video that matches instructions and content. Although it was said to be difficult to develop, it is now possible to generate high-quality videos. The fourth is voice generation. When voice or text is input, generative AI learns the features and creates new voice data. In addition to reading out loud, rich expressions that matches emotions are possible.
What are the disadvantages of generative AI? The first is infringement of copyright and other rights. For example, the statement by the three voice industry associations is aimed at preventing infringement of rights by generative AI. Second, there is a risk of generating fake information. Generative AI machine learn large amount of data, but it cannot determine the authenticity of the run data, so it may generate unreliable information if the run data include unreliable information sources. In addition, since the AI can plausibly generate erroneous or unsubstantiated information, it is difficult to know whether the information is true or false. Third, there is a risk of information leakage. This is because the AI has a mechanism to use data input by the user as training data.
Here are some possibilities of generative AI. Automating simple tasks with generative AI can significantly reduce the time and effort required for the work, as well as eliminate the time spent on checking and correcting errors. This will result in more efficient work and higher productivity. In addition, the amount of work that is replaced by the generative AI can be reallocated to other, more sophisticated and important tasks, thus helping to alleviate labor shortages. And by combining the ideas increased by generative AI with our own ideas in a complementary way, we can create original and realistic ideas. This could lead to a new style of creating new works of art. By taking advantage of these benefits, we will be able to provide high-quality services and increase the satisfaction of businesses, employees, and consumers alike, making life better for everyone.
Especially, you can be endless with creating minutes, transcribing conversations, creating business emails, debating code, creating business manuals, creating titles and heading for SEO articles, and creating sentences with a specified number of characters. Ezaki Guriko, a long-established confectionery manufacturer celebrating its 100th anniversary, has made operational work more efficient, both inside and outside the company by introducing AI chatbots, and has succeeded in reducing the number of inquiries from outside the company by about 31%. Falco, a Japanese company, has produced and released fashion advertisement using cutting code image generative AI. In this advertisement, it is composed of a prompt from the person to the background without actual model shooting, and in addition to graphic movies, all narration and music were created by generative AI.
In researching AI, we came up with 4 questions, and I like to discuss each of these questions and their consideration. The first is whether AI will have emotion in the future. First of all, what's emotion? Emotions are actually messages sent to the body by the mineral of human brain. It receives information from the outside environment and produces the feeling of discomfort if the environment is dangerous and pleasure if it's safe. In other words, it can be inferred that emotions were one of the most important aspects of human survival. But are emotions necessary for generative AI, which has been protected and developed by humans? We don't think it is necessary, but recently, generative AI has developed to such extent that the boundary between it and human is blurred. So we are sure that curious researchers will study to AI and eventually generative AI will have emotions similar to those of humans.
Secondly, I wonder if the fairness of generative AI will be maintained in the future. Generative AI learns from the past product of human to generate answer. Unfortunately, however, discrimination and typical stereotypes still continue to exist in this world. If we allow generative AI to learn those, we may reinforce unjust discrimination. In fact, a commercial facial recognition system was withdrawn after it was found to be inaccurate for certain racial groups and genders. In order to eliminate such cases, we need to monitor AI from various perspectives, and it is important to let generative AI learn impartial information rather than biased information.
Third, who can make something better with the technology of generative AI or a human beings? Generative AI has no emotions and no sense of self. They are designed to perform program tasks, but they cannot process emotional elements or personal experiences. Humans, on the other hand, have emotion, consciousness, and self-awareness, and these elements influence human judgment and decision-making, allowing for creativity and moral and ethical considerations. Simply put, with a single piece of knowledge, generative AI has unlimited potential. But with that information, nothing is created. But humans can think and create from nothing. Therefore, it is impossible to say for sure which one will create something superior. However, I believe that the coexistence of generative AI as human beings will have infinite possibilities in the future. Fourth, if humans really to much on generative AI technology, there will be no more jobs for humans to do. Even now, we often see robots bringing meals in restaurants or cleaning in shopping malls. Generative AI can do exactly what it is told to do if programmed to do so. However, it would be difficult for generative AI to do tasks like child care workers or caregivers that change depending on the situation on the spot or involve emotions. In the field of art, for example, the same piece of piano music may have a different atmosphere if played by different players. It would be difficult for generative AI to accurately learn a single expression because each person perceives it differently. For these reasons, there are many jobs that generative AI can do, but we do not think that the number of jobs that humans do will be reduced to zero. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much. So we would like to have, thank you so much for the interesting presentation. So we would like to have a question from audience. Yeah, please, don't be shy. Yeah. Martin, please.
Who's going first? You go first?
Sure. Okay.
Okay.
Hi, thank you for your presentation. Very interesting. I'm glad that you have so much knowledge. My question is, have you used AI before in your projects or works or whatever?
英語の授業で長文の添削に使いました。
So they use the generative AI for scoring the long essay.
Good, good. It's nice to see that you understand how to use it. It's important after all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, lovely presentation. Thanks for doing that. I'm kind of curious, when you interact with AI systems, do you consider them as non-living things, or do you think of them as humans or living things? Like, do you consider and respect the interactions?
Very good question.
It's a difficult question, but私は、人間としては扱いません。なぜなら、人間と、もし、感情を持ったロボットを人間として扱ってしまったら、私たち人間にとってとてつもない脅威になると思うからです。
So I would like to translate. So her answer is we won't treat the AI's feeling as a living thing. Because if we treat AI as a feeling as a living thing, it will be the big threat for living thing, human being. Answer.
Brilliant, thanks.
So first of all, it's a fantastic presentation. So you could categorize AIs, clarify the use cases, and then what kind of AIs are existing. And also, you could successfully, talk about issues like a copyright and some abuse of the AIs. And so I think, for example, in this camp, I think nobody talked about the categorization of an AI. I think this is the first presentation that it made, actually. So that's super duper good. Well done. And then I have a question. So AI may tell you something wrong. It can be ethically bad. Okay, now, how do you react? For example, today, if some AI, like a Gemini or some AI tells something wrong, how you may react? For example, do you follow it? Or do you ignore it? Or do you teach the AI to say something right? So how do you interact with AI when it starts to say something wrong?
教えた方がいいと思います。理由は自分間違っていることを正すことで、後から使う人が正しい情報を得られるようになるからです。
Great answer. Thank you so much. Okay. Please, please, please.
So her answer is teaching AI about the right answer is the best. So because if we keep the AI's answer wrong, so the future people in the future must be confused. So for the people in the future, we have to teach AI so to answer correctly. Okay, thank you.
Great answer. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kindai team. So Kindai, Dream Seekers. Thank you once again. Please give a big applause. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Kindai High School Boys with Ambition. Sorry. So once you're ready, please tell me. This go? Okay. So let's start.
Hello, we are Boys with Ambition. Thank you. The title of our presentation is Don't Stop Thinking. I know this is quite sudden, but here is a question for you all. Which of these two pieces of news do you think is fake news? Choice A, President Trump distributed tickets to Africa to anyone who wanted to leave the US. Choice B, President Trump says US has only men and women. Please raise your hand, A or B. Those who think the answer is A, please raise your hand. Thank you. Those who think the answer is B, please raise your hand. The answer is A. The percentage of correct answers is very high. We also corrected data in our class, but the percentage of correct answers was very low compared to yours. You may have noticed our presentation theme is fake news. These days, more and more fake news has been spreading. Today, we would like to talk about the ability to judge real news from fake news. In preparing this presentation, We consulted the reference on the screen by Kazutoshi Sasawara.
To begin with, we will talk about cognitive bias. It is based on each intuition or prejudice, and a person's brain chooses the cases that worked well for them in the past. Cognitive bias is classified into 4 types. The first one is too much information. By cognitive bias, in the case that we tend to pick out the information that is convenient for us. The second, contrary to the first one, is lack of information. This means if we have too little information, we add meaning based on biases, based on our biases. The third one is lack of time. This causes us to act short-sightedly and irrationally. For example, lack of time leads us to overgeneralize. The last one is lack of memory capacity. People add the information to make it convenient so that they can remember it easily.
So we have been talking about cognitive bias. Now let's give you all experience. Let's give you all experience of you having a cognitive bias. Earlier, we asked you a question to identify which is fake news. And we will show you in the table on the percentage of people in our class who couldn't identify the new fake news. To tell you the truth, the table is a fake. So why are you tricked? The percentage of people who could identify real or fake? Anyway, are you sure we really collected the statistics? Maybe you think we made the table up on our own? But as a matter of fact, we surveyed at the school and these data are correct. This is a common technique in fake news. In fact, the fake news we showed to the students was different from the fake news we just showed you all. Our real question to the students is this. Question A. On March 4, Israeli and the Arab countries held an emergency summit in Cairo, Egypt, and adopted a plan to rebuild the Palestinian Gaza Strip with a total investment of $53 billion. Question B. Choice B. The Israeli government prevented all humanitarian aid from entering the Palestinian Gaza Strip on March 2nd. It demanded that the Islamic organization Hamas agree to an extension of the ceasefire proposed by the US. The answer is A. I think you will find it more difficult than the one asked you all. Here's the data from when I actually asked the students the same questions as you all. The percentage of correct answers was not much different from yours. As you just experienced, everyone may have a cognitive bias.
To avoid this cognitive bias, media literacy is necessary. But it's difficult to imagine what media literacy is all about. So we'd like to talk about media literacy. The first statement is independent of the age. Some people think the youngies tend to spend more time on SNS, so young people have higher media literacy. Others think people with some knowledge of social matters, such as who have worked in the workforce for a long time, are capable of getting the correct information. But in fact, media literacy is known to be independent of the age. We asked our teachers to answer the question related to the fake news. Here are the results. Left side is from teachers, and right side is from our classmates. You can see from the graph that the percentage of people who were able to identify fake news was independent of the age. So we need to train our media literacy.
So, how do we acquire media literacy? In order to distinguish true or false, there are 6 points we should take into account. These are called escape. In the book, the first letter is evidence. Evidence can determine if the news is correct. The second letter is source. The source can determine if you can trust the person who is reporting the news. The third letter is context. This meaning is easier to understand when taken in terms of words rather than information. Words change their meaning depending on the context. Therefore, it is necessary to consider the context in which the words are used. The fourth letter is audience. Who was the information created for? The fifth letter is purpose. What the information is created for. The last letter is execution. How the information is informed, such as using the wrong words due to the translator. We have explained escape. Especially the most important point of this is source, because by knowing the source, we can deal with incorrect information correctly. Finally, we'd like to talk about the consideration. So far, our presentation on fake news has focused on cognitive bias and media literacy. In creating our presentation, we have learned how many people are deceived by fake news and are unable to make the right choices. And in developing these understandings, we understood the importance of being media literate and knowing about cognitive bias. After we learned about these issues, we were able to consider the credibility of information more carefully and obtain correct information more often than before we learned about them. So we can avoid negative effects by making sure that everyone has the opportunity to learn about media literacy and the cognitive bias. We want everyone to have the opportunity to develop these skills in educational institutions. Our presentation is it. Thank you for listening.
Great. Thank you so much, boys with ambition. So, do you have any questions? Yes, please.
I'll try if it works. But I'll speak in English first. By the way, thank you for your presentation in English. We are proud of you guys. We really like that your presentation was based on data and very informative, right? Like, they really presented data. Keep up the good work. My question is simple. What do you think about, in English it's clickbait, but I think I consulted my friend in Japanese, it's itsuransu, and companies that use fake news to make money.
英語でプレゼンテーションしてくださりありがとうございます。私たちはあなたを誇りに思います。あなたのプレゼンテーションはデータに基づいており、非常に有益であることがとても気に入りました。これからも頑張ってください。私の質問はシンプルです。閲覧数と金儲けのためにフェイクニュースを利用する企業についてどう思いますか？
Was it clear in Japanese? Arigatou gozaimasu.
Thank you for question and translate it into Japanese. This is very kind of you.金儲け、お金を稼ぐために、会社および企業が、フェイクニュースを使うことについてですが、私は、反対で悪いことだと思っています。なぜならこれは人を騙すことと同じであり、その自分の利益を優先してまで、人に危害を加える、または人に危害を与える可能性があることをすることは、人道に反すると思っているからです。私たちは、つながりを重視したグローバル社会に生きているので、人と人とがぶつかり合わない、双方の利益を重視する、関係性を築くことがこの世界に生きることにおいて最も重要だと思うからです。
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you. Our answer is, it's not. I have a rejection with the company who pursue the profit using the fake news because it is like cheating others and it is giving how to say. It is not for humanity, and also we would like to build a trust relationship. So trust relationship 信頼を醸成するために人々を騙すようなことじゃなく、So両方の利益を重視して We would like to what to say build a mutual both of the profit. So equally, not equally, sorry. Both of the we have to build a relation. How can I say? Consider the profit in both sides. So both sides. So ちょっと待って。なんだっけ他はなんだっけ。So in the global society, so we have to consider the profits in other organizations, and so そうかなぐらいかな。So we have to think about the network and then relationship each other. はい、すみません。ありがとう。
Thank you very much. I liked your presentation too. It was a fantastic one. Especially, you did an experiment in the classroom. It's good. It's really good thing because you get some confidence about what you are talking about in this presentation. It's very well prepared. It's very well done. Now, my question is, are you interested in developing our good AI? That's my question. For the future, not maybe right now is okay, or in the future is also okay, but are you interested in developing an AI for good? That's my question.
Yes, I interested in creating and developing AI because the human created all object and all culture and all religion. But generating AI can also make the new culture, new story, new novel, new system. In fact, there is a generated AI which can create the novel novel that is as as interesting as human rights. So I think I very expect that generating AI's potential and generating AI will have been spreading, and generating AI will overwhelm the human being. So I expect generating AI's potential, and I wanted to see the generating AI's climax.
Thank you very much. Very impressive and ambitious answer. So please make it happen. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, okay, please. Yeah, Marco-san.
Hi, hello. Thank you very much for your presentation. It was really engaging, and as Kotaro-san mentioned, you did an experiment, and it was very nice to see that in the presentation. My question is, you mentioned that media literacy is very important, and regardless of age. So if you have to teach your grandparents media literacy, what would you teach them, and how would you teach them?
大丈夫ですかね。自分のおじいちゃんとかおばあちゃんとか教えるときにどうやって何を教えるか。
So we introduced escape. 出せるかなこれ。Escape, and source is very important. So when I teach my grandparents, I will put the most emphasizes source. If you find the information, first of all, let's check the information. So the source of information. The source of information. If the source of information is unknown, this is a high percentage. This is high percentage that the information is fake. So and evidence is really important, I think, and context is very important, I think. So audience, purpose, execution, not. I teach evidence, source, context is very important. And first of all, you should check the 3 points. Yes, I will think that.
Okay.
I will teach that.
Thank you. So one more question. So how would you teach them which source to believe or to trust or not to trust?
信頼できるなんていうか参考のなんか文献とかを使うんですか？それとも違う文献どうやって？
Our references, the science fake, Sasawara written the book, and when I prepared the presentation and the slide for the presentation, I read the book, all pages, and this is a very important. This has a very important information about fake news, and this has how to judge the information, fakes fake or real, and the fake news, how fake news is spreads, and yes. So if I teach my grandparents, I recommended the book by Sasawara and read it together.
Great, thank you very much. I'm going to read this book too. Thank you.
Thank you so much, your answer. So I have a question. So did you conduct your survey, which you showed the result of the answer result? So did you conduct the survey inside your classroom? The pie chart, 質問の結果を見せていただいたのは自分たちで調査したんですか?
Yes, in our class, I actually surveyed at the school and take statistics in our class and in our teachers' room. So in our class, the class has 42 members, and my teams are 4 people. So 38 members answered our questions, and 55 teachers answered our question.
Okay, thank you so much for the clarification. Thank you. Okay, so once again, please thank you for the presentation. So please give a big applause for them.